Following her last performance in Vancouver, Taylor Swift departs BC Place Stadium. Although she waved to her fans before departing after the event, Taylor Swift officially entered the stage for her last performance of her Vancouver tour. On Sunday, December 8th, the 34-year-old pop queen performed her final gig of the tour at BC Place in Vancouver, Canada. As one fan noted via X, Swift's final surprise song on the Eras tour was rather fitting. First surprise song, Tim McGraw. Last surprise song, The Great War, the first and last songs of her discography. Swift performed a 3-song mashup for Sunday's surprise song, giving lucky fans a rendition of Love Story mixed with New Year's Day and the Midnight's 3 a.m. edition bonus track, The Great War. In addition, Swift changed the lyrics of Long Live from "It was the end of a decade" to "It was the end of an era / but the start of an age." As she closed out the performance, Swift thanked the audience for joining the most thrilling chapter of my life to date, my beloved Eras tour. Swift then moved into one final song, Karma, which was taken from 2022's Midnights, and as she has done throughout the tour, gave a small shout-out to her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, by singing Karma is the Guy on the Chiefs. Swift began the Eras tour in Glendale, Arizona, in March 2023 and continued to tour across the United States until August 2023. After that, the singer started the tour's international phase, stopping in South America, Asia, Australia, and Europe between November 2023 and August 2024. Swift made a few last appearances in the United States and Canada in October. Over the span of over 2 years, Swift played 149 sold-out shows on 5 continents, making the Eras tour the highest-grossing tour ever. Swift has talked candidly about her goal to super-serve the fans with her largest tour to date in an interview with Time in December 2023. With a big 45-song setlist that included classics from her most recent album and an appearance from her NFL star boyfriend, the 3.5-hour show transported fans through her musical periods following the April release of Midnight's 3 a.m. edition. They had to work really hard to get the tickets, she said at the time. Swift exclaimed as she left the stadium that the Eras tour had made her the most fulfilled I've ever felt in my life. I know I'm going on that stage whether I'm sick, injured, heartbroken, uncomfortable, or stressed, she said, adding, I wanted to play a show that was longer than they ever thought it would be, because that makes me feel good. In June, Swift announced that the tour would conclude in December, describing the endeavor as the most exhausting, all-encompassing, but most joyful, most rewarding, most wonderful thing that has ever happened in my life. I think that this tour has really become my entire life, she added. That's part of my identity as a human being now. If someone buys a ticket to my show, I'm going to play it. Unless we have some sort of force majeure, it's taken over everything. I think I once had hobbies, but I don't know what they were anymore. All I do when I'm not on stage is sit at home and try to think of clever acoustic song mashups and think about what you might want to hear. Swift achieved a number of professional achievements during her record-breaking tour, including the re-recordings of Speak Now, Taylor's version, and 1989 Taylor's version, as well as the chart-topping releases of her 11th studio album, Midnight's 3 a.m. edition. Through her concert film, she also made sure that the tour would continue for many years to come. Since the start of the Eras tour, Swift has also had to deal with a number of changes in her personal life. The most significant of them has been her relationship with 35-year-old Kelce, which started after he went to one of her performances in the summer of 2023. With her arms extended in her magenta shawl, Taylor Swift rounded the sides of her enormous stage. The closing notes of her final performance on the Eras tour and her debut into the bright future of her career. She said Sunday night was also one of the most memorable outings in pop music history, doing it her way, as usual. No guests, no extra songs, just Swift in the spotlight, exchanging love with her fans like a musical friendship bracelet. She ended by clasping hands with her backup singers and dancers, calling it the most beloved chapter of my life. Since the start of her live extravaganza, she said that over 10 million individuals have shared her final magnificent trip with the audience. Swift's farewell performance, the 149th stop on her billion-dollar-earning Eras tour that has traveled to 51 cities across 5 continents, arrived at Vancouver's BC Place Stadium with the same captivating blend of precise songcraft, spiffy production, and cool glam as when she first unveiled her live opus 21 months ago in Glendale, Arizona. Throughout the show, Swift was as much a sweetheart as she was a professional, hitting her marks with fierce precision and then mouthing, "I love you" to her backup dancers at the end of "You Belong With Me." That evening, everyone was shocked to learn that Swift had not meant a 3 to 4-hour mix of medleys when she stated she intended to showcase every musical era in her then 17-year career. No, Swift's brilliant idea, and the final reward to her loyal fans who helped her go from being a successful country pop singer to becoming a megastar, was a meticulously planned 3.5-hour career summary that was unheard of on a concert stage. Swift's easy accessibility, one of her most charming qualities, was evident Sunday from the moment she greeted fans with her typical, "Oh, hi," and a red lipstick grin. "I've never done this many shows," Swift admitted during her 3 sold-out, as usual, nights of the Canadian conclusion. "But you guys have made it such a wonderful experience. Not that there haven't been outpourings of unwavering affection at every event, but between the opening salvo of Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince and the #1 song, Cruel Summer, fan ovations were frequent and prolonged. The prolonged shout at the end of Champagne Problems, when Swift sat behind her moss-covered piano, bangs moist against her forehead, was almost as lengthy as the 4-minute song. This is true every time she tilts her head with a mixture of thanks and pleasure, or bats her cat-eye-lined eyelids. Swift's eyes were wet and her face was strange as she marveled at the waves of oral devotion, pulling out her ear monitors to take in the deafening sound. Swift grinned and thanked the audience after reiterating the commitment of her band and crew. "We will never forget you guys giving us that moment," she concluded. Swift shed a tear or two, knowing full well that tonight would be the last time she would put a black hat on a lucky child's head during 22 and her last chance to sway her hips in a short sequin skirt to shake it off. The 9 eras of Swift show each had their own distinct personalities, such as the vengeful red and black snake motif of Reputation and its snarling "Look What You Made Me Do," and the monochromatic Hollywood glam of Midnight's 3 a.m. edition. A May edition following the release of the 30-track album in April, with its stoic drum line during the Great War and the visceral discotheque that is I Can See You. Taylor's version, Feat. The 1975. Swift's penultimate performance on Saturday was a mashup of I Bet You Think About Me, Taylor's version, From the Vault, and Last Kiss, culminating in a close embrace between the friends. Swift invited her protege and show opener Gracie Abrams to share the stage. Finally, Taylor Swift has explained why she continued to extend her Eras tour. On Saturday, November 7th, one day before her tour comes to an end, the 34-year-old pop sensation thanked her fans for making the Eras tour an amazing experience before her final performance in Vancouver, Canada. On the second night of her shows in the Rain City, she told the audience, "This is the most fun, joyful, exciting, intense, powerful, and wonderful tour I have ever done. And that's all because of the way that you have treated it." According to a video that was uploaded on X, Taylor also praised Swifties for establishing their own customs, such as making and exchanging friendship bracelets with one another. "There's a reason why this is my longest tour I've ever done," the Bad Blood singer added. "I've never played this many shows on a tour before, and it's just because I really never wanted it to end, because you guys have made it into such a wonderful experience for all of us on stage. I wrote one line in a song that mentions making friendship bracelets, and I show up to the first show of the Eras tour, and you guys made friendship bracelets. You're trading friendship bracelets. You're making friends. And now I feel like friendship bracelets. You've kind of made that idea synonymous with the Eras tour," she said. "That's a pretty wild thing you can do." And that's just one of the things Travis Kelce's girlfriend added for Vancouver and Taylor Swift fans around the world, basking in the afterglow of the final performance of the pop megastar's record-smashing Eras tour. The answer is yes, it's over. The Cruel Summer star took to the Eras tour stage for the last time on Sunday night in a sold-out BC Place stadium, telling fans she was getting to spend the last night of the Eras tour with 60,000 people in Vancouver. After performing the 3-hour-plus show for more than 10 million fans globally, the last performance was also watched by millions on live streams around the world. Vancouver, I want to thank every single one of you for being part of the most thrilling chapter of my entire life to date, my beloved Eras tour, Swift said near the end of the night. Over the course of its 149-show, 20-month run, the Eras Tour became nothing short of a glittery global cultural phenomenon. It generated revenue estimated by music industry publication Pollstar at more than $2 billion US, a concert movie that raked in $261 million US at the box office, and a book that was the biggest publishing launch of 2024. There has never, ever been a concert tour like this, and along the way, Swift became the first entertainer named Time Person of the Year. Swift told the audience on Sunday that the legacy of the Eras Tour is that you have created such a space of joy and togetherness and love. I couldn't be more proud of you. Cities in 19 countries around the world fell under the Eras spell. Tourism officials say 6 shows in Toronto last month brought in $282 million in economic activity and an estimated $157 million to Vancouver, where landmarks were draped with giant friendship bracelets and the iconic Gastown steam clock was retuned to play Shake It Off. But for fans, the tour was about more than numbers. It was about the connection to each other and Swift, who made her entrance from under the Eras stage for the last time to the chords of Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, dressed in a shimmering blue and gold bodysuit as snow like confetti fell. During Swift's 10-minute version of All Too Well, many fans were in tears as they sang along throughout Sunday's performance. There were nods to the sense of closure during her acoustic set. Swift changed the lyrics of Long Live from End of a Decade to End of an Era. Dancer Cam Saunders had earlier told Swift for the last time, no, in response to the familiar refrain of, we are never ever getting back together. Among the overwhelmingly female crowd on Sunday was Cindy San, who cut short a holiday in Hawaii and flew back to her hometown of Vancouver on the morning of the performance after her father won show tickets in a contest. I may just cry, said Sam before the show, draped in giant homemade friendship bracelets, a sparkly blue dress, and white cowboy boots. I just peaked. Nothing gets better than this. Dominic Silek from Chicago, Illinois, had started the tour with Swift at her first show in Glendale, Arizona, in March 2023, and was there on Sunday at the end. In between, the 23-year-old saw another 16 Eras shows, including performances in Japan and Australia. I'm at a loss for words, Silek said after the show, his arms wrapped in 300 friendship bracelets collected on his epic Eras journey. I'm happy. I think it's come to a good conclusion, but I'm very emotional. Outside the stadium, which was surrounded by barricades, crowds had gathered near the Terry Fox Memorial to listen and sing along for free under the watch of a heavy police presence. Stadium officials warned ticketless fans to stay away, but on all 3 nights, crowds had gathered, part of a global phenomenon known as tailgating. Also singing along were fans watching the numerous unofficial live streams of the performance. One on YouTube was watched by about 300,000 people. Swifties who descended on downtown Vancouver included celebrities like rapper Flavor Flav, the Public Enemy hype man, who said on social media he was on his way from Los Angeles to take over on a flight full of Swifties ahead of Sunday's show. BC singer Michael Bublé was handing out friendship bracelets on night 1, also attended by Swift's parents, while Canuck Jake DeBrusk was at Saturday's show, according to a social media post and photo by his girlfriend. Bublé said on Instagram that he and his family witnessed something last night that we've never experienced before, and frankly, may never experience again. Taylor is truly an incredible entertainer. His daughters were in awe of Taylor. We are grateful to have seen the Eras tour, and in our very own hometown. Swift has reciprocated fans' feelings, telling the audience on Friday night that she chose Canada and Vancouver to close out the tour because the fans not only know the lyrics, they scream them. Swifties have been planning something special to end the tour, and during the 3-minute standing ovation for Champagne Problems, there were chants of Happy Birthday for Swift, who turns 35 on December 13th. Fan projects like this have been a big part of the Eras tour, with chants and pattern clapping breaking out during various songs. University of Kansas sociology professor and Swiftie Brian Donovan says such moments of joyous social solidarity are known as collective effervescence. What is interesting about the Eras tour is that it also brought about unique cultural things like the trading of friendship bracelets. He said, noting such practices were fan-driven and were not organized by Swift or her team. A fashion focus has also been central to the tour experience, with devotees dressed in outfits reflecting their favorite eras by Swift, who would make about 16 costume changes per show. Langley, British Columbia, resident Vivian Strinko, attending her second Eras tour show, looked around the arena on Sunday and gestured to the hundreds of other fans dressed in glittering costumes. It's such girlhood to see everyone so dressed up. The 17-year-old wore a silver suit dress paired with sparkly boots and inspired by Swift's The Man said. Canada was announced as a late addition to the tour last year. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had previously pleaded with the star on social media to visit Canada, telling her, "Don't make it another cruel summer." Trudeau and family members were among Swifties at the Toronto shows, as were former U.S. President Bill Clinton and his wife, former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Many fans have been expecting a big announcement at Sunday's final show, perhaps another album re-release, but in the end, there were none. During Midnight Rain, when Swift had lately been counting down the shows, she lowered her last finger and waved to the crowd, signaling the end was nigh. After fireworks and confetti erupted from the stage, there was a group hug with her backup performers before she took her final bow, then ran off stage laughing. The Eras tour may be over, but there may be another way to relive it in the works. A camera crew was seen recording Swift's 3 performances in Vancouver, raising fan hopes of another concert movie. Sunday's closure, the culmination of so much emotion and so much connection with her fans, almost 60,000 at each Vancouver date, hit the perfect note. Saying she wanted to go back to the beginning, Swift offered the mashup of A Place in This World from her 2006 debut album and New Romantics from 1989 on guitar. But feelings heightened with a gorgeous piano trilogy of Long Live, Speak Now, New Year's Day, Reputation, and The Great War, Midnight's 3 a.m. edition. The chorus, Hold On to the Memories, resonated deeply in the stadium as Swift closed her eyes and threw her head back as she played. Though happy tears were to be expected as Swift said goodbye, she isn't the type of performer to pull an Adele and disappear for a few years. Yes, she has a seemingly thriving personal life with NFL star Travis Kelce and deserves a break after a thoroughly exhausting schedule for nearly 2 years, really 3, as she noted from the stage, given the year of prep time and rehearsals. The dedication was worth it, Swift told Sunday's crowd, because you have created such a space for joy and togetherness and love. But Swift is too ambitious, too prolific, too fond of sharing her words and music with fans who manage to present new levels of adoration the more she leaves it all on the stage for them. Even though this marathon has ended, it feels as if another race will soon approach the starting line. An emotional Taylor Swift hailed the unparalleled support of her fans during the final night of her Juggernaut Eras tour in Canada. The U.S. pop superstar rounded off her record-breaking tour with her third and final night at BC Place in Vancouver, having begun her mammoth string of dates in March last year. After completing her track Champagne Problems from the Evermore album, Swift took out her earpieces to soak up the ovation before fans took the opportunity to wish her a happy birthday ahead of her 35th birthday on Friday. Swift appeared emotional as she bowed her head and absorbed the applause for several minutes before describing the tour as the adventure of a lifetime. "I just wanted to say, on behalf of all of us, we will never forget you giving us that moment," she said. Swift also became sentimental ahead of the 10-minute version of her track, All Too Well, praising her fans for their traditions, passion, and the way you care about this tour. "It is unparalleled. The lasting legacy of this tour is that you have created such a space of joy and togetherness and love, and I couldn't be more proud of you," she said. The tour, which is estimated to have taken in around $2 billion, $1.6 billion in ticket sales, takes fans through Swift's back catalog, including hits from albums 1989, Red, Midnights, and her latest chart-topping 11th studio album, Midnight's 3 a.m. edition. "It has been the most exciting, powerful, electrifying, intense, most challenging thing I have ever done in my entire life," Swift said as she opened the final 3-hour show. "We have gotten to perform for over 10 million people on this tour, and tonight we get to play one last show for you tonight in beautiful Vancouver." The Canadian show was filled with elaborate production, multiple costume changes, and a set list that spanned dozens of songs. Opening for Swift for the final time, U.S. star Gracie Abrams told fans, "I'm not ready for it to be over," in a pre-prepared speech. Abrams praised Swift's music as well as her generosity, curiosity, her wild and unparalleled pen, her superpower of seeing into our lives and creating soundtracks for every single formative moment that we've had, that we will have. Among the stars at the show were musician Ed Sheeran,